Hello, everybody, and welcome. I would like to talk to you today about the earth element in our Chinese five elements and what I would call the guardian energy. So let's dive right in. So, earth energy happens, it is in the five elements, it happens between fire and metal. And so, if we're going around in the cycle, it goes from water to wood to fire to earth to metal back to water in some ways of looking at it. So there's this earth that comes between fire and metal, but earth also happens between all of the other elements because it's the energy of transition. So we have this time, the season of earth that we're in right now. We're going to break that down, but also anywhere where we're transitioning from one to the other, we find a little bit of earth energy because it's this energy of transition. Now, let's look at that. So for us in the northern hemisphere right now, we are bridging the gap between summer and fall. And so we have this time called autumn, this late summer. And that here is the earth energy. And so generally speaking, we're looking at the summer has been this time of blossoming, of manifestation, of desires coming true, where we see the kind of the peak of things, where we are in our peak and fully manifested. And so in the cycle of the fruit tree, the tree would be fruiting, or the garden is producing, right? And in the autumn is a time when the fruiting begins to slow down and we're collecting the harvest. We're collecting the fruit or the bounty of all of that production from the summer. So it is a time of gathering, right? Of pulling our resources together. It's a time of connection. It's a time of, we're not quite into the meadow yet. So the meadow is going to ask us to what are we ready to release and let go of in order to grow. So we haven't quite gotten to that part where it's really dying off yet. We're more in that fall, the beginning of fall, the leaves are changing. They haven't all fallen yet. And there's this like last burst of this energy. And it really brings this energy of gratitude of what can I be grateful for what the summer has provided for me, what my garden has provided for me. And so we really move into this energy of nurturing and nourishment. It's what we most associate that earth element with. Sometimes it's associated with Mother Nature energy or Gaia energy. I call it the gardener because it's this energy of both the garden of, having fruited and being provided for, this nourishment and this nutrients that's being provided for us by Gaia, by Mother Nature, but it's also the energy of tending to it. It's the nurturing energy that it takes to have a fruiting garden, and so it's both this, it's the condition of the soil that we have rich and nutrient dense soil. And from that we have produced, we've aligned with who we're here to be. We've aligned with our potential and we have fruited that. It's a time of harmony. It's a time of balance. It's a time of, and we'll see that align with this gate. This year it will align. We're kind of aligning with gate 50 this week at the end of the week, which there's another video for that. But it's this gate of equilibrium. It's this gate of harmony and balance. And in earth, we are going to bring that extra energy of stability and nourishment and dependability and connection, right? So we know that we're in our own guardian energy. So everybody has all of the elements as part of their makeup. But we know we're in our guardian archetype when we can feel that warm, fuzzy feeling that it feels when we connect. The warmth of really, this is the energy of giving as well. So this giving and receiving is this theme throughout the earth energy, and our ability to do that in harmony and in balance, our ability to take care of ourselves enough so that we can be an active participant in our community, right? Have I taken care of myself well enough that I have what I have left over, This is a bountiful time. So it's giving from the saucer, not the cup. I think that comes from Martha Beck, but it's the idea that I don't give it from my cup. My cup must runneth over, and from the runneth over, from the abundance I give. But my cup has to be filled up by me first. I must nurture and nourish myself first. So some of the keys to the guardian energy, and knowing that you're aligned with guardian energy, will be things like harmony, balance, being in good connected relationship, being compassionate and dependable, wanting to serve others, wanting to nurture others. Empathy lives here. Our ability to be committed, actually, mental clarity comes here. Our devotion comes here. Our ability to, and I say those together because fire can sometimes get us a little bit of like so many passionate ideas and we don't know where to focus. So energy helps us ground that. It roots us. It helps us align and concentrate on something so that we can build something, so that we can, so there's focus and there's concentration here. Mental clarity lives here. And our guardian energy is, like I said, it's both the energy of our ability to take care of ourselves, but it's also the energy of protecting our people, our tribe, right? So we see that in that like kind of mama bear energy is an archetype of earth. And so earth energy then, so if we look at it like as if you are the guardian archetype and you are aligned with this earth energy, then it's really about being centered in empathy and connection and devotion, right? So there's lots of different visuals we could match to that archetype, but one that often gets matched is the caring grandmother, right? That there's this kind of they are often trying to feed you. If I don't know about all backgrounds, but there is this sense of like wanting to nurture and nourish you. So they're going to pull you into a warm hug. They're going to love on you and they're going to take care of you. Right. And so there's a kindness and a tenderness to earth energy. It's a nurturing and loving energy. It can get associated with yin energy or feminine energy, although it isn't in Chinese tradition. It really isn't. It isn't that. It can be masculine and feminine. It's more about the ability to find stability and find connection. Now you'll know you're around an earth type because they will be asking you if you're comfortable. They will. So if you're someone who is always like, can I get you a water? Can I get you something? That's a very earth tendency. And if you're around someone who is trying to nurture you quite a bit, they probably have a lot of that guardian alchetype in them because they're trying to take care of others. It's a life mission. It will be what drives them. It's a motivating energy for them. When we look at it from the perspective of the meridians, it is the stomach and the spleen meridian in Chinese meridians. And the stomach energy really is about ripening and rotting, right? It's really about how we digest. Obviously, it's the stomach, right? But it's not just what we're digesting, what we eat. It's can we process our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, our food, right? And so it's our ability to kind of take it in, break it down, and then we're going to pass it on to see if it serves us, but in the stomach, it's like, can we break it down? Can we process it? Can we take it in? And when things happen in our lives that are hard for us to process, the stomach energy can get out of alignment. Because we're overdoing it. When we're churning things in our mind, when we're overthinking, worry is actually a symptom or a sign of that lower expression of earth, the tendency to go into worry. So when the mind is just churning, ruminating, just turning things over again and again and again, that's the stomach energy kind of churning. We often see a connection between the anxious, worry mind and stomach digestive issues because the stomach can't break it down. It can't ripen it and rot it and take what it needs from it because it's just churning, right? And so we start to get the churning and the digestion as well. It's also the spleen energy, and the spleen energy allows us to transform and transport energy throughout the rest of the system. And so when we are what I'm trying to say there is that the spleen energy also helps us like create new cells and carry that energy, replenish other cells, right? It needs to be able to do that. It needs to be able to move easily, to transport that energy easily. If we are accumulating too many thoughts, too much emotion, too much something, it weighs heavy on the spleen. And the spleen can get exhausted from trying to transport too much. It's an exhaustion from an overabundance, right? So we really have to watch that harmony. We're back to that idea of harmony, that we're not trying to carry too much. We're not trying to carry too much food. We're not trying to carry too much thought. We're not trying to carry too much emotion. And it really is asking us to lean into our ability to release, to keep peeling away, to keep things in balance and in harmony, so that the spleen can function appropriately. When the spleen accumulates, we get congestion, we get weight gain. It can't move things as easily, and it bogs the system down. But the spleen also houses our yi energy, and our yi energy is translated often as thought or intention. And so there's this connection here around the yi, giving us the capacity to be able to study, to concentrate, to think clearly. So we've got this, again, there's this mind or this gut brain connection of when my digestion is well, I am able to focus clearly. I'm able to have clear thought and focus my attention and my intention on what needs to be done, what best serves me, what's the next step. And through that, it allows us to concentrate, allows us also involved in our ability to memorize and hold those things for future use, for future nourishment, for future needs. So in balance, when our guardian energy is in balance, we are able to support ourselves and then to give to others from that overflow, from that abundance. There's a lot of abundance is a word that's associated with our guardian energy. We're able to put others first for the tribe when necessary, not out of guilt or obligation, but out of love and compassion. Our guardian energy wants to be connected. It wants to be part of our family, it's got a lot of tribal energy to it, right? It wants to connect, wants to be part of that community. It's a boundary builder. So when our earth is balanced, when we're really in a harmonized guardian energy, we are able to say no when we mean no, and yes when we mean yes, from a very authentic place. We are able to slow the mind. The earth energy allows us to like put your feet on the ground, to slow down. This is a time of year where things start to slow down. The fruiting slows down, and we can start to slow the pace. We're not all the way into the yin energy of metal and the alchemist yet, but we're slowing down, taking a breath. We're appreciating what is. And in doing so, we can slow the mind. When our guardian is harmonized well, we go to bed with an empty mind. We've done the day. We don't take it to bed. We don't take the rumination and the worry. We release it. We slow down, and we make way for the time where we're going to go into metal. In our day, metal happens, and then as we go into night, the releasing of the day. So it's that winding down time before that. And it's this energy that allows us to stay devoted to. So when we're really harmonized in our guardian energy, when we're really rooted in that energy, then we are able to choose the path wisely and stay devoted to that path. And through that, we are actually manifesting our full potential. And when we manifest our full potential, then we open that heart. We are a beacon for other people. We are radiant in our purpose, I'm having a hard time with this one today, y'all. In our human design, in the gene keys, in the incarnation cross, it's really the ability to work through that conscious sun and that unconscious, or that conscious sun and that conscious earth, and then having that breakthrough into this radiant place. And when we're in that radiant place, we are self-confident. We are full of worth and value. We value ourselves in really beautiful ways, by living our purpose, by really opening up and living by our purpose. So when our earth is out of balance, when we don't have enough earth energy, it can make us feel tired and spacey in our minds. We can get overwhelmed and dysregulated, and we've got all that churning going on, and we lose clarity. We lose lack of direction. We may become boundaryless, right? Like, again, we might be slow, we might be sluggish. We might also have blood sugar dysregulation that goes along with that. That might be a physical something that's happening, and we might find ourselves like crashing and exhausted throughout the day, especially after eating. But when it's over energy, when we have too much earth, then we can begin to get these accumulation issues that I was talking about. There's dampness in the body, chronic digestive issues, brain fog, and headaches, and kind of a heaviness in the body, sluggishness, sinus issues, and digestive issues, right? So being on the lookout for whether or not your earth is in balance or out of balance. When it's signs that your earth is getting out of balance, it could be that you're worrying or ruminating. You might be having trouble falling asleep. Obviously, digestive issues, might be feeling stuck, lack of boundaries. You might be obsessing about something. You might be over talkative. You might be losing your self-care. It's always one that happens. You might be struggling to process some things that you not able to kind of see clearly what direction you need to go. You might be having food cravings. There might be troubles with finances and money. There's associations between the earth energy and that abundance and money. And so dysregulation in that is going to lead to dysregulation in your finances. And so the first step to that is just noticing where you're out of balance, noticing those things and bringing it back. So this actually, again, the gate 50 that we're about to move through really asks us to keep like finding center, finding that harmony and balance, regardless of what the environment is. And so that comes through the ability to observe what's happening, to observe how you're reacting to what's happening, and choosing to release what isn't serving you using whatever process you can. So these points right under your eyes right here, there's like, if you find your cheekbones and just go just above it, there's a little divot in your bone, right in the middle, right down from your pupil on both sides. And so if you hold that, that's the earth energy neurovascular point. And these come from applied kinesiology and a whole lineage of energy work. But you can hold those points to help you just harmonize the worry, harmonize the rumination, harmonize the imbalance, harmonize a food craving, harmonize the emotion the emotion that you're having that is hard for you to process. And so that anxiety, that worry, these are good points to hold. And that just breaks the cycle for a moment. You can bring it back to your breath. You can come back to your breath. You can have a little space. You can ground for a moment. And so you can observe, you can make a space and observe what's happening. The other thing that you can do is really get your bare feet, take your socks off and put your feet on the dirt. Get your hands in the dirt. I have some theories about beach people, which I fully intend to be in my life at some point. I've been a mountain person my whole life because I was basically born and raised in the mountains, but I have all sorts of intentions of being a beach person. And at some point, and some of you might have heard me talk about my flip-flop girl. I have a part of me that's like always trying to run away and just have a tiki hut somewhere with rum on a beach somewhere, running my little piece of paradise. But I have this theory, going back to the point, having this theory that people that spend a lot of time with their shoes off on the earth and people on the beach do, that's part of why we feel so relaxed at a beach. That's part of why beach people are so laid back, is because they've got their shoes off a lot. And people in a city hardly ever have their shoes off and on the ground, right? So they're less grounded, they're less rooted. And that adds to some of that airy feeling of a city, that chaotic feeling of a city. It doesn't feel very rooted and grounded often because the people there don't often have their feet on the ground. I'm not judging one being good or bad or better than the other. I'm just observing that there's a slowing down that happens when we get our feet on the ground. And that helps us take a deep breath and and reroute. So those are some of the tools that you can use to harmonize your guardian energy when you need to, when you're feeling out of balance, noticing that you're out of balance, and bringing it back into harmony so that you can work through whatever it is that's happening in front of you, so that you can get recentered. You can find that equilibrium. You can find that harmony. All right, y'all. That is the Guardian Alchetype. And let me know if you're a Guardian Alchetype in the comments below. I love to hear from you how that plays out in your life. And I'll see you soon.